Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos. Today, it's Thursday, October 23rd. Also known now that it's nighttime. It is the second of Cheshvan, the sixth day of the week, Yom Shishi. This week's parasha. Oh, by the way, that means that the moon is just still a crescent right now. It is about 6% to a full moon, waxing moon right now. So this week's parasha. This week's parasha is Parashat Noah, and since last week's episode, um, it all starts off beautifully. God makes a beautiful, biodiverse planet, and then gets this amazing idea. It's like, I'm gonna create this thing. We are gonna create this thing called a human being. And the angels say, no, no, no. Um, but God does it anyway. And basically, ever since then, things have kind of gone to hell. And the way the Torah says that is, "Vatishachet haaretz lifnei ha'elohim." So the world had become corrupted, um, kind of spoiled, rotten, destroyed. It had been destroyed before God. V'timale haaretz Hamas, and the earth was filled with Hamas. The word Hamas means it's a little bit of a puzzle, I guess, to the rabbis because they give all kinds of different definitions to it. Um, but it means things like thievery um, and um, and murder. So murder or violence. So Hamas meaning violence. So the world has become corrupt because of violence, and that's really how the poetry works there. Vatishachet haaretz lifnei Adonai, v'timale haaretz Hamas. So the the corruption of the world is violence. So the first thing that happened, it seems, is whatever this mythic meaning of it, eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then after that, not long after that, the one brother kills his brother. So Cain kills Hevel, and things just kind of keep deteriorating because of violence um, during this time. So next verse goes, Vayar Elohim et haaretz vehine nishchata. So Elohim saw the world, and behold, it was destroyed. It had all gone bad. Ki hishchit kol basar darko al haaretz, because all flesh had become corrupt, had corrupted itself, corrupted its ways upon the world. ויאמר אלוהים לנוח קץ כל בשר בא לפני כי מלאה הארץ חמס מפניהם. And Elohim said to Noach, the end of all flesh has come before me, because the earth is filled Hamas. It's just violence filled. Mipnehem, because of them, because of all the living beings who consume each other and cause violence. Vehineni mashchitam. So I will erase them. I will destroy them. Vehineni mashchitam et haaretz. So I will destroy them and the world. After Noach and his family and all of the animals exit the ark, interestingly, first thing Noah does is build an altar, and he takes all of the so-called tahor animals, the pure animals, which more or less means domesticated animals, and not entirely, but um, very largely. So anyway, that take all of those animals, slaughter them, and he slaughters them and offers them up as a sacrifice. God smells this and then commands Noah, meaning really commanding all of humanity, right? Because the only people that are alive right now are Noah and his wife Naamah and Shem, Ham, and Yafet, the three sons of Noah and their wives, whatever their wives are named. So God makes this covenant, and these are called the Noahide laws according to the Torah. These laws apply to all of humanity, meaning all of us, including Jews. Um, and the seven laws are the first one is, how does it say this in Hebrew? Al avodah zarah. So the first thing that all humanity is commanded is against the same thing that Jews are primarily commanded against, which is avodah zarah, which literally means strange worship or foreign worship. But as it has come to mean in our tradition, what it means is serving anything other than the one. If as we say, everything is God, and God is utterly beyond everything, means all of this is God. And to worship anything other than that, or fixate on anything other than that, or serve something other than that, is to be off the derech. So the next commandment, Va'al birkat Hashem, it, it literally means regarding the blessing of Hashem, but I forget what the word is right now, but it's there. It has the inverse meaning. It means a person, all humanity is forbidden from cursing this one in which all of us exist. And the next commandment, going from how you should think of God and how humanity should relate to God, it then goes to Va'al shfichut damim. Don't pour blood. Literally, what it means. Don't kill. Don't kill. So that's a primary law that comes right after Noah, comes to Noah, and as a result goes out to all humanity. The the rest of the laws I'll give to you some other time, but those are the first three laws, and it clearly follows the sort of narrative of the Torah, which is that things are beautiful, they are as they are, and it's a mythic past where nothing kills anything in order to survive. All creatures only eat the plants and the fruits of Gan Eden, of the Garden of Eden. But once that tree is consumed from that, you eat the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, then things kind of start deteriorating. What does that mean? I'm not going to get into the myth right now, but specifically that much of the myth right now, but I'm specifically looking at the fact that it is something, whatever we mean by the knowledge of good and evil is related to violence. Once we make that move, things slide into violence, and as we know, violence leads to violence, leads to violence, leads to violence. From the very beginning of the Torah, the opposite of violence is piru urvu. The opposite of violence is to be fruitful and multiply, which is to say, to be abundant on the earth, and for the earth to be abundant. So after Noah makes this very strange sacrifice, you wouldn't think right after all of that he would go and kill animals as a sacrifice to God, but it's a fascinating scene. And then God says, it says, "Vayarach Adonai et reach hanichoach," that Hashem smelled the the pleasant smell of those sacrifices. Vayomer Adonai Elibo, and it literally says, and Hashem said to his heart, or in his heart, Lo osif lekalel o et ha'adama. I will I will never again, I will curse the earth. I will never curse the ha'adama. I will never curse the source of the human being, the Adam. Ba'avur ha'adam. I will not curse the earth because of the earthling. Ki yetzer lev ha'adam ra minu orav. Because the whole thing, there's something about human beings from their youth that is evil. They have this tendency to do violence. V'lo osif od lahakot et kol chai ka'asher asiti. and and God says, I will never again strike all of life, harm all of life, um, as I have done, by flooding the world. Od, kol yemei haaretz zera v'katzir kol v'chom v'kaitz v'choref v'yom v'layla lo yishbotu. And then he says this beautiful poem. God says, as long as there are days of the earth, there is seed time and harvest, there is cold and heat, there is summer and winter, day and night, will never cease. All of that will continue. ויברך אלוהים את נוח ואת בניו ויאמר להם פרו ורבו ומילאו את הארץ. And God blessed Noah and his children and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, be abundant, umil'u het haaretz, and fill the earth, fill the earth. Then God sort of sets up these conditions to all of the world. It says, "Look, I get it. For some reason, you guys have to eat each other, and you get violent. I don't like it. That's not how I want things to do. But because that is how you are, and I'm not going to destroy the whole world again, we're going to make a deal. Okay? So, and the deal is, among other things, the seven Noahide. It is the seven Noahide laws. Um, but specifically, God explains them here as the prohibition against killing, um, specifically other human beings. But also, there's a law that is addressed to animals, saying you can't kill human beings either. Um, so the fundamental law to humanity, besides seeing that we are all one, right? Those are the first rules of the Noahide commandments, is to see all of us as one and not to curse all of us. The third one is don't kill. And then the Torah says, all right, I know you're going to kill. So here's how you're going to do it. When you eat animals, you're going to do this. And you are going to set up courts of law to deal with the injustices perpetrated by people or animals against other animals or against humans. So it is a fascinating beginning to a long and often very violent book. The Torah begins and there's beautiful parts and transcendent parts and then just awful, ugly parts that go all the way to the end. So, so the message here is very profound because right from the beginning of the Torah, there is a concession and understanding like people are violent. The way you deal with this is deal with through law. You have to deal with this through law. All right, so Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hope you are all well and healthy, and I hope you have a good Shabbat.